Incredibly disappointing game from the New York Giants today. Um, I thought that this Giants team was a good team. I was excited last week, riding the high of last week, and there's a lot more questions than answers this week. The Cardinals absolutely beat us down, and I took them for granted. I thought that they were a soft team that was on a downward spiral. Got to give a lot of credit to the Cardinals, played great, and they absolutely destroyed the Giants today. And this offensive line, you thought that the offensive line was the strength of the team, but Wayne Gallman was he absolutely was neutralized today. And Daniel Jones did a terrible job of just aligning the protections, and the offensive line just was brutally whipped all day. These receivers had trouble creating separation, and the offense itself was just absolutely abysmal. Horrible performance. One of the worst performances, just a terrible performance by the offense, like the worst of the season. And that's what ended up happening today. Team just laid an egg, and I think that the Giants still do have a really good chance of making the playoffs. Because Washington might lose to the 49ers, but this Giants team is still not that good. And you look at Daniel Jones and his resume, and he's not out of the doghouse yet. I mean, in terms of being the guy, he had a couple of really good games, but you gotta be really honest with yourself about Daniel Jones and about the Giants. You got to be very honest with yourself when you start to analyze the Giants, and because this year, there's been a lot of games like this year with Daniel Jones and this offense just being terrible. And I mean, this defense is really coming along, playing really well. The running game has at least played well. And today, the running game completely vanished. The offensive line was abysmal. I don't know if this has to do with the drama of Mark Colombo. Maybe it was riding high against the Seattle Seahawks and this offensive line. And I think that the NFL is a very tough league. So a lot of times, you're going to play really well one week, and then the next week you're going to come crashing down. And I mean, the Giants put everything into that Seattle game. They put everything, and then, winning that game, they definitely got a little bit confident. And I was feeling a little overconfident today as well that the Giants were going to continue to hammer out and beat the Arizona Cardinals. But I think the Giants are going to play Cleveland pretty tough. I think that they're going to finish the season well. And for Jones, they need to finish the season well. They need these last three games to show a lot of signs of life to finish the season for Daniel Jones and for this offense. I think that Joe Judge, the moves that he's made, Dave Gettleman, I think that Gettleman has done a really nice job here. But this offense is still really a lot is in question. And I mean, do you keep Jones another year and continue to boost this defense, continue to boost the wide receiver position, and then you get a rookie quarterback coming in? Because right now, I don't think Jones is going to be the guy that's going to get you to a Super Bowl championship. Right now it's trending in that direction that he's just not good enough. The offensive line too. I mean, this is a young team. This is a very inconsistent football team. And Joe Judge has done a nice job of really putting this season together. And these 4 wins here in the middle were important. And it's up to the Giants today to bounce back from just a terrible performance against Arizona, where the offensive line today just got bullied by the Cardinals. But you start to look at, as Colt McCoy completes a long pass, Colt McCoy might end up having to go next week against Cleveland because Jones doesn't look healthy. And maybe Colt McCoy's going to be the guy towards the end of the season. But you don't know about Jones. He holds the ball too long. He doesn't have a great, throwing motion. He's not a very smooth quarterback back there in the pocket. And man, just an abysmal performance today by the Giants. The offensive line got whipped all day, and the defense, for their credit, they held strong. First half played really well. Second half, again, they've been on the field the whole game, but the Giants defense played a really good game of football today. I would say they didn't play great. Their pass rush today got caught, but absolutely, man. Yes to that one. Yes to that one. But this was a really tough game because I was just starting to believe in this New York Giants team, and they just cratered away today. They cratered away today, and just incredibly disappointing after everything that the Giants built up. You expected them to run the football. This offensive line played a terrible game, and you expected this offensive line to be better than what they presented. But you now look at Mitchell Trubisky and you look at Daniel Jones, and things change so much in the NFL on a week-to-week basis. And things will change next week if the Giants bounce back against the Cleveland Browns. So this is a real gut check week for the Giants coming up in their season. A lot of adversity today. They just weren't ready to really play football today. And the Cardinals came in and were motivated. And the Cardinals are a better team. And defensively, the Cardinals were elite. Offensively, the Cardinals played a lot better. And they beat us in special teams. They beat us in every phase of the game. I give credit to Cliff Kingsbury. I didn't think that the Cardinals could go out and do this, but they clearly are showing now that they're a playoff caliber team and really a better team than the Giants. And I think that the effort of starting out 1-5 and crawling back and then doing all of these interviews in the media, I think that the Giants too, they have to get back to work and put out a much better game against the Cleveland Browns. So can the Giants do it? Maybe, but things change so quickly in this league. You look at Drew Lock, you look at Daniel Jones, you look at Tua today. I mean, the NFL is crazy because, week to week, the way that you look at teams and the way you look at this league, it changes so quickly. But this offensive line has really regressed. And this is just an awful performance by the Giants today. I mean, they just got beat in every respect. You look here at Andrew Thomas. He even got beat really badly just on a play to Colt McCoy. This was just a terrible performance by the Giants, but you know what? I still trust Gettleman. But you can't be too low. Exactly. We get the Cleveland Browns coming up next week. Middle of the week, we're going to feel better. And that's just life. You're never going to, always have it great. And 4 straight wins was a very big deal for this team. And I'm liking where the Giants are going still. I love this defense. I like the pieces a lot. The offensive line is certainly better. But it's gut check week, and winning 4 straight is very tough in this league. And next week, the Giants got a Cleveland Browns team on national TV. They're going to play a lot better next week. The offensive line's going to get challenged, and then you're really going to see the makings, the character of this football team. You're really going to see the character show through. But today was incredibly disappointing. Just got beat up front. The running game, the play calling on offense, not getting Wayne Gallman the ball, not really pounding the Arizona Cardinals and throwing the ball too much, dropping back to pass, not going for it on 4th down. The defense was all right, but still not a pass rush, just getting beat in the trenches, the defensive line and the offensive line. And I think that they looked at the press clippings all week, got a little bit too high from that win. And the Cardinals were desperate, and they played a great game of football, and they're very deserving of the win. Can't win them all. Giants could still maybe win this division. And then you have to make some tough decisions, though, about Daniel Jones, about Dave DeGuglielmo, about Jason Garrett going forward. Patrick Graham and the defensive staff is really, really good. The special team staff is pretty decent. You got Sterling Shepard. You got some guys on the offensive line that I really like. Shane Lemieux, Nick Gates, Kevin Zeitler. You start to look at I'll tell you who else you look at. You look at several other people, and give credit to Marcus Golden too. I mean, he had a great game today. Congratulations to Marcus Golden. He owned the Giants today. It doesn't mean that he would have been any better if he was here, but he's doing unbelievable in Arizona, meaning that it was fine to get, to trade Marcus Golden. Our defense is still really good, but to Marcus Golden, congratulations. So that's that. That's the NFL. I'll have more videos coming up later. But congratulations, Scott. We'll have to see with Daniel Jones. He's not out of the woodwork yet. I mean, it's just been a bad season for him and for this offense. And today was a tragedy. Today was horrible.